Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I have two new eyeshadow quads from Tom Ford that I am ecstatic to share with you guys. I have been waiting for these to be released for what feels like forever. I mean, I don't have a lot of patience, especially when I know that at some point I'm gonna get my hands on something like I want it now. The moment I see it, I want it now. So unfortunately, I had to wait a little bit for these two quads, and they are the Visionaire and the Meteoric quads. So let me show you guys real quickly. Oh, because these are some beauties. Look at that. Looky here. So I got these from Selfridges. They have not yet been available here in the US, but I'm pretty sure they're going to become available quite soon. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. So I do want to point out a few things. One, my hair. I know it's a hot mess. This is how it looks naturally. I somehow injured my right hand, which is my dominant hand. And I have been having a really hard time. I cannot style my hair. I really can't do very much. So I've been resting my hand. This past weekend was 4th of July. I was not able to do anything at all. My hand was so swollen and in so much pain. I'm not really sure what's happening with it, but it's a lot better today. It's definitely not, I mean, it's like barely swollen, but I don't even think it's that noticeable at this point. So that's why I have not filmed. So yeah, so excuse my hair and excuse the fact that I've been MIA for about a week. Trust me, I had been wanting to film. I just really wasn't able to. I just got these in today, so you know, I was not going to let any extra days pass by where I don't film. So this is going to be a first impressions on these two palettes. I created a look using each palette. Please take what I say with a grain of salt. Like I said, this is my first impressions. You know, things may change. Things always change with makeup. Sometimes, you know, things work for us at first and then later on we realize, you know, it's not really as good as I initially thought. Or vice versa. Sometimes we don't like things, and then if we try them out differently, we feel differently about them. So again, this is just a first impressions. I really enjoy both of these palettes. I think if you've been eyeing both of them, you know, I think you'll enjoy them. If you've just been eyeing one of them, I think you'll enjoy that specific one as well. I don't think you can go wrong. I am a huge Tom Ford fan. I love collecting makeup from the brand. I have a lot of it. I don't have all of his quads though. You know, although I'm somebody that really enjoys the brand, I'm not someone that feels like I need everything from the brand. No, I mean, whatever piques my interest, whatever I think I need in my collection or want, it's mostly wants at this point, you know, then I pick up those products. But I don't have every single one of his quads, but I still have quite a large collection. And I will say that I do prefer his wet to dry formula. I just feel like that formula is definitely more unique. It's more versatile. And I guess also the shade selections that are available in that formula really just work out for me. With that being said, these are not that wet to dry formula. The formula in these though are really good. I had no issues with any of them. The first one that I used today is the Visionaire, and I had very minimal fallout. It wasn't bad at all. I'm not even sure if you guys are going to be able to see it on camera. Maybe so. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I have just no complaints about this palette whatsoever. To me, this is perfection. I love the shades that are in here. These are just shades that are totally up my alley. I feel like this quad is a very wearable quad as well. Although I did enjoy the look I created with this, I feel like I'll enjoy this more just using 3 shadows at a time. But overall, this is a really great palette. Everything just worked so beautifully. They blended out easily. Same thing with this other palette, the Meteoric palette. For some reason, I just can't say that. This was nice. I like the look that I have as well. It became a little bit underwhelming just because of these 2 shades here. So those are, I consider these more to be like topper shades. You can build them up so you can create more of an opacity like finish, but I don't know. I mean, I like them. I just wish that it was only one of the 2. And honestly, I really like this lilac shade, so I could have done without. Is it done? I could have gone without. I could have done without. whichever the correct one is, please insert without this one, because this actually ended up being a shade I was not expecting. I thought it was going to be a little bit more pinky, like a very light pink shade, and on my lids it looks a lot more on the silver side than anything else. I mean, I'm not complaining. Again, it is a really nice shade. It's just not really what I expected, and just like the previous one, when I do use this, I only see myself using 3 at a time, and in this case it's always going to be these bottom 2 and then one of like what I consider again the topper like shimmery shades. Now this palette has those 2 topper shimmery shades. This one's more of a satin, kind of like a sheen shade, very light. All of these colors are very light, but you can build them up, which is the nice thing. And then it's like this pinky mauve shade. I love this color. Like the lilac and this pink mauve shade are my absolute favorites from this palette for sure. So I do have swatches of these. I'm going to show you guys the swatches before we get into the demos. So let's just go ahead and get into the swatches and the demo. So here are the swatches for Visionaire number 26. As you can see, that top shade is definitely more like a topper, but if you build it up, you can make it much more opaque. The dark salmon shade and the last dark brown shade are much more opaque. I would say these bottom 3 are more of a satin finish, but the one that shows more of that sheeniness is definitely second to the last one, which is this one right here. That one actually applies a lot more subtle, so if you want to add depthness with that color, you are going to have to build it up, because it is definitely much more sheer, and you can really notice that it's much more of a satin formula as well. But it does have some micro glitters or like little micro shimmers all through it. Using this pinky, almost like a dark salmon shade, I'm going to apply it above my crease. So I'm going to use this sort of as a transition shade from one end all the way through to the other end, and just really blend it in. To deepen up the crease, I'm going to pick up this darker brown shade, and this I'm just going to focus into the socket here, and I'm doing the same motion from one end to the next, but keeping it much more concentrated. With a flat brush, I'm going to pick up the lighter brown shade. This almost has like a dark olive tone to it. Now I'm going to apply this all over the lid. This one applies a little bit more sheer, so I'm going to go ahead and add another layer just to have it look a little bit more opaque. So with my finger, I'm going to pick up this shimmery shade, and then I'm going to lay it over the shade we applied here on the lid. Oh, those 2 shades complement each other so well. With the tip of this small brush, I'm going to pick up the darker brown shade and apply that right on the bottom lash line. Now with a pencil brush, I'm going to pick up this lighter shade and run this all the way through the bottom lash line. So I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work, but with another pencil brush, I'm going to pick up this shimmery shade and apply it on my inner corners. I kind of feel like it's just going to look like I have glitter. Actually, that looks really good. I mean, you see a lot of shimmer in there, but it almost looks wet. It looks really nice. Ooh, love that. All right, let me finish off with some mascara. I'll probably apply some eyeliner, and then I'll be right back to show you guys the finished look using Visionaire. Okay guys, so this is the completed look using Visionaire, and I've got to say, I think this is beautiful. These colors are just up my alley. This is absolutely something I would use pretty much for any occasion. I think it looks gorgeous. I love the combo of the two shades on the lids. It was the two bottom ones, or actually no, it's not the two bottom ones. It's these two right here. I think they look so good together. I absolutely love it. I feel like that dark salmon pink shade like really brings this palette together, and it makes it a lot more wearable. It's a color that kind of, you know, brightens up the look a little bit. It is on the darker pink shade side, but it's still a very soft shade, I would say, and I'm very, very happy with this one, and I cannot wait to try out the other one. So I'm gonna go ahead, wash off this eye makeup, and then we will be right back so that I can demo the other quad. Alright, so here we have the swatches for Meteoric, and this is number 27. As you can see, the two top shades are these beautiful, very glimmery, shimmery shades, but they are definitely more toppers. I'm gonna try to build up one of these shades to see if we can make it a little bit more opaque, but I'm not sure how well that's gonna work. The pinky mauve shade is a matte, and it's very subtle. And then that last almost brownish shade, that one definitely has more of a sheer finish, and I would say it's more of a satin formula. With a fluffy brush, I'm going to use this mauve shade first. I'm going to apply this on the outer portion of the crease here. And then whatever's left, I'm going to start blending it inwards. Just right above the crease here. I'm going to try to build this up just a little bit. Same brush, I'm going to pick up the darker shade. Right into the crease here and in the outer portion of the lid. And just try to add some depthness into the crease. And then here in the crease portion, I'll probably just go about halfway in. I'm picking up the same shade we just used with a smaller, more detailed brush. I'm going to line my bottom lash line, only the outer portion. I wiped off the small brush I was using, and now I'm going to pick up this lilac shimmery shade. And I want to see how this is going to look on the bottom lash line. I'm just going to overlap on this outer portion of that previous shade we applied. So as hopefully you guys can see, I was a little afraid that the lilac wasn't going to show on these shimmers all that well in the eyes, but it actually does, and it looks really nice. It's a very subtle, I mean, it is a very light shade, but it looks really pretty. So I'm pleasantly surprised there because I was not sure if it was really going to show very much. With my finger, I'm going to pick up the lightest shade and see how this looks all over the lid. Wow, so that looks a lot more silver on my lids than I had actually anticipated. I thought it was going to look a little bit more pinkish, like a very light kind of champagne pink. I'm going to pick up some of this lighter shade. I'm going to apply it in the inner corner. And then going back with the darker shade to add more depthness. And I'm going to go in with the lilac shade with my finger and just tap right over. So using both of these on the lid, I'm really not able to tell from one color or one shade to the next. But from like the top and bottom, you can definitely see the top lid has more of a silver shimmeriness to it, whereas the bottom does have like a little hint of lilac. It is, again, a very subtle, very light lilac shade, so you really have to get close to be able to see that. So let me finish up my eye look, and then we will be right back so I can show you guys the final look. So here's the final eye look using the Meteoric palette, and it's another one that I think is just beautiful. Honestly, you guys, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these. It's really based on preference, but if I had to pick one out of the two, okay, so this is a Visionaire, and here is Meteoric. For some reason, I feel like I have difficulty saying meteoric. Anyway, I do really like both of them. I do see myself enjoying both of them, but for different reasons. So overall, I think if I can only pick one, I would pick this one right here. I just feel like this one's a lot more wearable for me. I can see myself using this a lot more often and for different occasions. These are just shades that I enjoy more. This palette that I'm wearing right now is gorgeous, but what turns me off a little bit about this one is that it has two of those shimmery shades, so I feel like I would only be using one at a time. Alright guys, let me know what you think about these eyeshadow palettes down below. If you guys liked this video, which I really hope that you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up, and while you're there, do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Until next time.